Hi, I'm Katie. Welcome to our backyard in Campo, California. This is the second box that I got from Boogie Brew, and I've been really excited to show this to you guys. So this is my first time ordering this, and what I ordered was tea compost. So I've never made tea compost before. I've learned a lot about it, done a lot of research into this, and I've decided that Boogie Brew is definitely the best. Of course, that's an easy no-brainer because if John Kohler's reviewed something, more than likely you're gonna get the best. So I'm gonna open it up, see what comes inside, we're gonna put it together and then apply it to the plants so that you too can know how to do a compost tea for your plants, why it's important, and how this works. So the system I got was their heater system. I think it's called, for people who are doubtful and don't know if it'll work for them or not. It's a smaller system, and the reason why I got a smaller system is I like to get really good at what I'm doing before I upgrade to a bigger size. I am usually somebody who jumps in both feet first, but at the same time, I see the value in getting really good at something before you make it bigger and bigger. So get really good at a small raised bed and then expand from there, rather than having a whole bunch of raised beds that you've put an investment in and they're your first ones and it doesn't go well the first year and you feel like a failure. That would be no fun. But anyway, I was assured that this is super easy to do. It's almost foolproof.
Excuse me.
Yes.
I now know how to make
Light blue?
Uh-huh.
Oh, it's beautiful.
What you do is you add some of the darkest stuff, and then you put it in the green.
Oh, you made teal or aqua, depending on how dark it is. I can see it from here.
It's white.
Color combination is fun.
And it went dark and white. So light blue, dark blue on the bottom. Dark blue's on the bottom, light blue's on the top.
Okay, let me do my video now.
Okay.
I love you.
So you do.
So those of you who have done fish tanks, and I have had fish and I've also had newts before, I'm familiar with this kind of clear tubing. And also an air stone, very familiar with that. We have more than one air stone here, so 2 of those. I have the C90 agricultural mineral added in as well. So if you've seen my video on ocean grown, ocean solution, this is similar to that. But we're going to keep this separate for now. It's not part of the Boogie Brew base tea. And here is our air pump. That's really good. And here we have our Boogie Brew tea. Vegan tea for soil. Awesome. Make your plants dance.
I now know how to make light red.
Orange or pink?
Light red and light orange.
Ooh, Mr. Watercolor Genius. Good job painting.
Nice, but it's not very doing much. When I tried doing the straight line, it just didn't go right. It ran out of paint.
Do you know why?
Why?
Because it ran out of paint. And you got to figure out how much water to put on your brush and how much paint to put on your brush each time, how far it'll go, and you're going to get better and better.
Okay.
Now, one thing before we go any further, this is one of their shirts that I'm probably wearing here on video. Probably is the only time I'm going to be wearing this shirt because I can't say to everybody who sees me in public, no, I don't grow or use cannabis, and I never will. So one thing that I do want to say about that, though, that this is part of their logo for a good reason. And when I was talking to the owner of Boogie Brew, Josh told me that if you want to know the most you can and the best tips out there, the newest tips and tricks out there for organic gardening, for getting the biggest bang, the most yield out of your crops, is the forum boards of people who are growing cannabis that know those secrets, because they're not wanting to put chemicals and stuff on their plants. They're learning all these tips and tricks and posting them there, so then you can take those and utilize them for growing your own vegetables and other plants. So I thought that was a really cool tip. But yeah, with my personality, I'm a bit of a control freak sometimes. Any substance that would have me out of control, like even alcohol, no thank you. Doesn't make me feel good, and I'm not interested in that. So that's me personally. I'm not saying anything against people who use cannabis. I'm just saying for me, it's never gonna happen. So, okay, when you open up the bag, you have 2 bags inside, some extra instructions, and this is your tea bag, this burlap bag right here. So you want to get out a measuring cup. If you're doing the typical 5-gallon dilution in a 5-gallon bucket, you're going to be using a half a cup of part B plus a half a cup of part A. Since I only put 2.5 gallons of water in here instead of the 5 gallons, we would be cutting that in half. So a quarter of A plus a quarter of B. However, I am using a sprayer, so I need to make a triple strength solution. So it's going to be 3 times of a quarter of a cup and 3 times a quarter of a cup for those who do their math that way like me. So I'm as curious about this as the dogs. That's what it looks like, part A and part B in the bag. Oh, that's fun. It sounds just like my air pump that I remember from when I had newts. Okay, so our tea bag is going to go in the water. And then our 2 stoves are going to go in to aerate, bring oxygen in here to let things start growing. So we want all the good stuff to come alive in there. And that's going to sit for about 12 hours. So here's the insert that comes in, and you can learn about the tea and what it does. So it's going to yield, boy, that wind is going crazy. So it's a soil tonic as well as a garden amendment, 2-part system. Upon aeration, this infusion acts as a catalyzing agent, bridging the gap between soil, nutrient, and plant by effectively harnessing the full force of nature's inner biological rhythms. So it's going to, Boogie Brew's greatly going to increase overall plant metabolism and efficiency. So I want to show you some of the other products that they have here. You could see right there that white tube is a filter. I believe it's a coconut coir filter. Those are really wonderfully effective. I have one in my water pitcher that I use for our drinking water. It's not for you. Thank you very much. And if you have city water, you definitely want to get one of those filters, because chlorine will kill off everything good in your tea otherwise. We have good well water here, so I don't have to worry about that, and that's really nice. This is already getting nice and dark. So I'm going to come back and check on this in a few hours and see what has changed, so we can take a look. Eritrea, a watched pot never boils. It'll be done when it's done. You're just going to be the faithful watcher. Okay. Check on it, and the frothing is just starting. Well, I had a lot more froth until I started messing with it. I'm sorry about that. And I probably would have even more if it had been even warmer outside. But this is after 24 hours, and that's how long you're supposed to let your tea brew. And I timed it just now, so we're getting really close to dusk here. I don't know if you can tell, but the sun's going down behind that house. And that's when you want to put something wet on your plants, typically, unless it's really cold, because that way the sun won't burn your plants if it's refracting through any of the water droplets. I made a triple batch because I'm going to be using this spray, this Ortho sprayer that you can get at a hardware store. I got mine at Lowe's, and I have it on the 8-ounce setting, and that's going to get me the dilution that I want. I think that it's really funny and ironic that I'm using a product made by a company that pollutes the earth to rejuvenate the earth. So put one over on them. And after you're all done, make sure that everything gets cleaned out thoroughly. You want to make sure that you rinse as much as you can. And if you're going to use something to kill off any bacteria, use something safe like the Basic G, because that's not going to hurt any of your items. It's not going to hurt your skin. It's not going to hurt the plants. And it kills off more than bleach or Lysol. So that's pretty cool for me. The reason why we want to get these as clean as possible before the next use is any leftover bacteria could become anaerobic, and that will contaminate your future tea supplies, which is not what you want at all. So there you go. So that's me applying the Boogie Brew tea, and I hope you enjoyed watching this. I hope it was helpful for you, so that if you want to do the same thing in your garden, application is going to be super easy after watching this tutorial. I want to say a special thanks to John on Growing Your Greens for sharing this information so that I could know about it, and also for Josh at Boogie Brew for answering my questions and walking me through this as well. So if you want even more great information, you've got to check out the link that I put below. There is also a link for a discount. If you go to that video, they will share that link. If it is still applicable, definitely take advantage of that. And I will see you next week. Bye-bye. Happy gardening.